Hello, 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 hello. Thank you for tuning into the weekly read. Thank you for tuning into Transcendent Kismet channel. And let's light some sage. This is going to be our weekly read for December 1st through December 6th, which is next Monday. Yesterday, I took the day off to do much posting because I am working on some home projects this week and needed to focus on that. Plus, the energy's been kind of weird. We are approaching a new moon, closing out the last moon cycle, and Neptune is back direct. So I have a lot of planets in Neptune. I have Pisces rising. My Mercury is in Pisces, which is how I communicate, which is, Mercury rules this. YouTube videos, communications, media, everything of that basic sense of communications. And Neptune, so I'm all of this is ruled by Neptune for me. So the whole Neptune being retrograde cycle has been very interesting for me. I did get a lot of clarity, and I want to keep that clarity. I'm one of those who I would rather the truth that hurts me than a lie that makes me feel good. That's just how I am. I just want to know the truth. And I did get some very clear knowing of things from this past moon cycle. So I just want to keep that same energy. So I'm looking to manifest that with this next moon cycle. So I'm going to go ahead and, sage before our reading. Let's ask Spirit, please, Holy Spirit, come in and help us with our reading. Help us to gain insight for the week. Those of us who are watching this, those of us who are looking for the guidance, if you are to use me as a channel, please allow me to channel correctly, channel only the message that you intend for me to channel. I ask for Archangel Michael to protect our reading, and I ask for clear guidance and clear messages to share without any ambivalence or darkness. Ask Spirit, ancient ancestors, and guides to come in and assist. You can assist me with this sage. That'd be great. I hope everyone is doing well, staying courageous, keeping your faith, walking in love, forgiving where necessary, but at the same time, removing and cutting, purging what no longer serves you. It's been difficult for me in terms of accepting that some relationships, no matter how much you love a person, because you are not vibrating at the same frequency, can hurt you just because of the incompatibility. Just like if you try to fit a square peg into a round hole, I'm pretty sure it hurts the hole because you're trying to jam something that doesn't fit. And that happens in relationships and in jobs and all sorts of things. It takes courage to admit that you don't know. I don't have all the answers. I have a lot of wisdom because I've been through a lot in terms of experiences in life. And I'm still figuring a lot of stuff out. And it's okay because it's my journey. And that's the truth for all of us. It's okay. Wherever you're at on your journey is where you're supposed to be right now. And accept that in love. Love for yourself. Love for life. And love for who you're becoming, The sage smells really good. I bought some new Lebanese sage that I'm going to burn for next time. But in the meantime, in between time, let's go ahead and also get some music here. I have this wonderful drum. I'm going to paint this. I like the pink, but I really want to paint it like a dark purple and paint something, maybe some moons or something in the middle. But let's get some energy vibration too from the drum. So let's tune into this as well before we begin our reading. Excuse me. That was a clearing. Sound healing is real. And that should have just showed you right there how sound healing is real. Because I never cough with sage smoke. So I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit more. Wow. Okay. We're going to do a shuffle here. For the Crow Tarot. Let's knock out the previous energy. And let's pull some cards for the upcoming week. We're going to also, not only the Crow Tarot, we're going to pull the Moonology for the new moon that's coming up on Saturday to see what information we should, what energy we should focus on. And speaking of energy, we're going to also use the Energy Oracle deck to see what energy we should focus on for the next few days here. So for December 1st, I'm going to start shuffling here, see what card we can get. Let's pull a little bit closer here since the cards like to jump around, especially those wand cards. So please give us a card for today, December 1st. And insight and guidance for tomorrow, December 2nd. We are in December. So we're in a new month and we're in a new moon cycle. That's the thing about the moons. They work with the cycles since ancient times. Before there was the current calendar that we use, we relied on the moon, and we still do. Our bodies correspond with the moon and all the other constellations and things of that nature. So we have here next, that would be for Friday. Now we need Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Alright, so we have the Page of Cups. Okay, so that's for Saturday. Let's do Sunday. Saturday got 2 cards. Sunday we have 1 card. And then for Monday, my energy's been a little too tuned in as well. My anxiety kicks in such a weird way. It's interesting to learn your triggers and learn how your anxiety manifests. In my case, it manifests sometimes with paranoia. But there's always a grain of truth in paranoia, I've found to be true. So, I want to make sure I'm not getting too many reversals. Okay, so we have today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Okay. Now, I'm going to also pull, instead of just 1 card, I'm going to pull a Moonology card for Saturday. So, please... At the bottom of the deck, we have Be Bold and Make the First Move, the Cardinal Moon. Don't know if that's for anyone. I'm an Aries, so I don't ever have a problem with being bold and making the first move. I have to hold myself back a lot of times because sometimes I shouldn't make the first move. It should be in the other person's, you know, arena to make the move. And I have to hold myself back because that's easy for me. But this may be for someone who that's not easy for. So let's see what the moon advice is for this new moon coming up. The moon is in Sagittarius on Saturday. Well, Friday, Saturday is a new moon. So right now, I believe Venus is in Capricorn still, which is interesting. So those are not really not harmonious. You don't have like the aspects where things are like the opposite. Like, you know, the opposite of Sagittarius is Gemini. The opposite of Capricorn is Cancer. I don't see any of that opposing type of energy. But it is all about work, security, pentacles type of energy. So let's see what we should be focused on for Saturday. So for Saturday, we got 2 cards that came out. So that was also pretty letting us know this is a pretty potent moon. And at the bottom of the deck now that I shuffled, it says the answers you need are coming. So be bold and make the first move. The answers you need are coming. And we're going to get to the advice for Saturday for the Moonology deck. But we're going to read some of the descriptions from the book because this is kind of a newer deck for me. Okay. So for today's energy, we have the 8 of Cups. We have the 8 of Cups. And, you know, the 8 of Cups is about kind of looking out. It's kind of it's the card of loss and the card of regret. We may be feeling a little regretful today. We may be feeling a little, a sense of loss for things. Maybe looking back over the past and different choices that we made. And if not feeling a little bit of sadness, definitely some pensiveness, some thoughtfulness about things and about life. It's definitely a time to take stock. I definitely feel that energy this morning. I wrote some content this morning talking about confidence and you know, I like the image on this card because you can even see how this is similar to the cycle that we're in now, because look at the moon. The moon is waning away. We are under a waning moon. So this is a time to really, really, really decide what you don't want in your life anymore and what you want to remove. What is an issue that you are tired of going around the mountain about, round and round the mountain about? You need to finally be done with it and take whatever steps are necessary to be done with it. I mean, we can't control everything. There are some things you just have no control over. You know, some things are fated, some things are destined to happen. But when we look at the choices that we make, there are some choices that we don't have to make. Some choices that affect our lives in ways that are not the best, you know, especially when you are supposed to have learned a lesson by now that you haven't learned. So now it's time to really say, okay, you know, I need to be done with this lesson. There's plenty more lessons to learn, but this particular lesson, I need to be done with it. It's time for me to remove it from my life. It's time for me to, you know, assess, you know, the regrets, assess the lessons from it, and move on with my life. You know what I mean? And move past this 8 of Cups. So we are feeling a little emotional today. Today's an emotional day, whether for ourselves or for a loved one. But it is a time where we are feeling emotionally looking over our life choices and maybe some things that we regret or some things that we've lost, that we want to make sure that when we are presented with opportunities in the future, we don't make the mistakes that caused the loss. Or if it was a loss that's out of our control, we want to make sure that we find our faith emotionally to anchor us. That in life, there are some things that we can't control, but it is meant to grow us and it is meant to help us gain wisdom and help us on our path so that we can have empathy and pass that along to someone else along the way. Tomorrow's energy, we have the So we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse tomorrow. The Six of Pentacles in reverse. The Six of Pentacles is usually about you know, it's about balance. See, they have the scales here. Things being balanced. Balance, give and take. Giving back to charity. Just having a giving and generous spirit. The fact that it's in reverse may mean that give and take is out of balance. Someone is taking too much or someone is giving too much, or vice versa. So the cautionary tale for us is that be careful that things are balanced and that you find a way to balance them out if they're not balanced. I mean, there's really no other way to really go about that. So in any situation of your life where you are giving too much, you're being the martyr, or you're taking too much, you're being greedy and not appreciative, and you know, there's always more and more. It's never enough. You have this bottomless need. It's time to balance it out, and, you know, balance out the taking with the giving. You know, give back some of it. If it's not to the person who's giving to you, give to someone else. Give to a charity. Do an act of kindness. Pay for someone's meal behind you in line, or, you know, donate money to a charity. Donate food to a food bank. You know, sheets and blankets to a dog shelter. You know, just find some way of giving back. And if you've been giving too much, maybe you need to ask yourself why you're playing the martyr. Why are you overextending yourself? What is it that you're trying to prove? Do you think you're not worth, you know, are you not worthy unless you feel like you're giving away? Because if you're not loving yourself, are you really giving from a place of love? Because love begins with yourself first. You cannot love from a genuine place if you don't love yourself first. And if you love yourself, you're not going to overextend yourself. You're going to take care of yourself. You're going to give with boundaries, and you're going to have a limit, because we all physically have a limit. I have a limit. There's only so long you can go without water before dying. There's only so many days you can go without sleep before dying. You know, we have limits. We have physical limits. And the same is true of our emotions. We have emotional limits, and you should not allow anyone to push you outside of your limits, because that is something you have control over. You can shut the door. You can walk away. You know, most scenarios, unless it's an unsafe situation, if it's an unsafe situation, that's totally different. There are resources you can call. There are hotlines you can call. At the end of the day, you are empowered to turn this around and make sure that it's balanced. Make sure these scales get balanced. Do not have it like this. Balance the scales out. Okay. And that's what the advice is for us for tomorrow, for Thursday. So Friday, we have the Knight of Swords again. We've been getting this Knight of Swords a lot. Knight of Swords for Friday. Knight of Swords is about taking action. Look, he's rushing forward. He's got his sword up. He's ready to go. Okay. This bird is like, hey, watch out. And then you have the yellow bird on the back, you know, and that just makes me think of the solar plexus chakra, which is self-confidence. So, you know, I feel like our solar plexus is going to be in a good place on Friday, where we will feel empowered. We will feel the self-love that we need that I was just talking about, to make the choices that we need that are in alignment with ourself, our true self, and be okay with it, you know. Swords are all about thoughts, so it means it's going to begin in the way that we think. So we're going to be thinking empowered, which it starts in here. So it does start in your brain and the thoughts that you have. So the Knight of Swords, again, is about taking action on the thoughts that we have, speaking them out, sharing them, what have you, writing them, whatever the case may be. So Friday, we will be pulling that sword out, the sword of the knowledge we have of our self-empowerment and of the actions we need to take. And we'll be ready to, you know, to take action with it. So the horse also makes me think of Sagittarius energy. So we are, again, dealing with the moon in Sagittarius, and you know, just thinking in terms with a lot of those, also the things, the positive attributes of Sagittarius, and that they are philosophical, they are very funny and jovial, and they have that Jupiterian energy where they just kind of, things just kind of work out for them because they're so optimistic and funny, and they try so hard to be positive and very ambitious and fiery and just fearless Sagittarian energy that, you know, we can all tune into when the moon is hitting Sagittarius. So that is something we'll all be benefiting from. I'm a fire sign, so I love when the moon is in fire signs, because I definitely feel the fire energy. We could all benefit from it for whatever projects we are dealing with or undertaking, or whatever situation we're dealing with. We can benefit from the positive attributes of that Sagittarian energy. Okay. So on Saturday, so the card for the moon, the full moon in Taurus, from the Moonology card, your dreams need a practical plan. So speaking of the swords energy from Friday, let's see what the book says. The full moon in Taurus. It says, sometimes you need to weave a bit of magic, and sometimes you need to be practical. And sometimes you need to find a combination of the two. This card suggests for all of us that this is where we are now. We need to use the law of attraction to draw in what we want by imagining it, expecting it, welcoming it, but we need to balance that with taking down-to-earth steps toward our goals. This isn't just wishing on the moon and hoping for the best. It's about making something like a list of bullet points about how to achieve your dreams. If you're asking about money, this card heralds a change of financial fortunes, depending on both your past actions and what you're expecting and therefore attracting. So, write down 10 things that you know are wonderful about you is the advice, okay? And additional meanings for the card is laziness could explain your current situation. If so, change that and own it. Own being that you've been lazy. Chasing money doesn't work. You need to chase a dream. Jealousy or envy create negative energy and attract negativity. And another meaning could be that more exercise is called for. You could be needing to exercise more. The full moon in Taurus energy is about a time to get back to earth, to get grounded, to work through any negative feelings that you've been dealing with, and to find a balance between being passionate and being overly intense. Money issues may come to a head at the time of the full moon in Taurus, but you can take this card as a sign to pay more attention to your cash flow no matter when you draw it, okay? So, so that's the advice for the full moon. We want to make sure you have a practical plan and look at money issues that you may be having, how to rectify them, how to be better with money issues, and be practical. I mean, things, yeah, we can be magical. You know, I'm a magical person, magical thinker. I've seen it. I do believe in the law of attraction. And I do believe that things can happen miraculously, but it doesn't hurt to create a practical plan. Sometimes we don't know a practical plan. And I will be the first to say, like, I don't really know how I'm going to reach this goal. But if you sit down, and under the new moon is a good time to sit down and set intentions, you can set that as an intention to know, to have it revealed to you, to have mentors and guides and supporters and opportunities line up to show you the path to your goal or your intention or whatever it is. And whatever that is, whether it's, you know, finding a job, finding a home, finding a partner, finding yourself, you know, develop a practical plan, be open to revising the plan, but at least put one down and have it set in your heart and in your mind and on paper. We are also with Cups energy. So Saturday we have the Page of Cups and the Knight of Cups. We had two Cups cards come out. So again, we'll be feeling emotional. Page of Cups is usually having to do with like a love offer or something loving, you know, a loving message, a loving text, a loving email, a loving phone call that's directed towards us. And the Knight of Cups also is about, you know, action, emotionally, actions taken, but both are upright. So it's positive positive emotions, positive actions, and moving forward the way we need to go, in the direction that we need to go. So once we have our practical plan, we will be able to move forward in the direction that we need to go in. I like how they use so much fish imagery on here. So again, I'm picking up the Piscean type of vibes. You know, Neptune is direct. Neptune rules Pisces. Neptune is about dreams. It's about a fantasy. It's about romance. I look at it as being, you know, the kind of romance. It's about illusions too. And don't get so wrapped up in illusion that you don't see the forest for the trees. It's okay to be emotional, but again, be practical at the same time. That's also something that's sticking out about this deck for Saturday, is that even though we may be emotional, even though we may be wrapped up in something that's dreamy, be practical too. You know, keep your feet on solid ground while your head's floating in the clouds, knowing that you can pull your head down and get grounded if you need to. Do some grounding as well. You can take your shoes off, walk in the grass, lay down on the earth, put your back up against a tree, do some deep breaths with the trees, things of that nature. Make sure you're staying grounded on Saturday and setting your intentions practically, okay? Now, on Sunday, we have the Three of Cups in reverse. So that's meaning that it could be a third-party situation that is ending. It could be a friendship that is on the rocks, you know, possibly ending, a social outing that got canceled. It could be a lot of things in terms of like a social life or even a romantic life. Maybe you feel like there's a group of people that aren't seeing you for who you are, and it's time to step away from that. At the end of the day, there's some type of disconnect socially, whether it's, you know, with a group of friends or an outing that you're going on that you don't feel quite comfortable. You don't feel seen or heard or appreciated. And if that is the case, please just leave. Life is too short to be uncomfortable in that sense. And if it's something that, you know, needs to be talked about, try your best to talk it out and, you know, come with a conclusion that is a win-win for both people. Sometimes it's hard to have those conversations, but it's necessary. Just because it's hard doesn't mean you shouldn't have them, especially if it involves your feelings, and especially if someone's coming to you about something that you did or said or didn't do or say. You know, hear them out, and then at the same time, see if you can rectify it and if you can move forward. It's just one day, things happen. But if this is a pattern of something, you know, maybe it's a toxic friendship, or if it's a third party situation, that could be coming to an end. Things of that nature could be, you know, reversed. So in that sense, just keep an eye out for that and try to stay positive. Try to know that what is meant for you, can't miss what's meant for you. And all relationships have some rocks that, you know, you hit from time to time. It doesn't mean that it's not good. But there are some times when things are toxic, and sometimes you just need to move forward and, you know, hope that the person grows on their journey and does better, because people change. People change for the better and they change for the worse. So it's a matter of, you know, knowing which one is which scenario is which. So that's for Sunday. That was for Sunday, the Three of Cups in reverse. So in order to, sometimes you can flip it back to upright, where, you know, you can get things back on the roll, where everybody's just having a good time and getting along and, you know, just clinking glasses and making toasts. And if not, then you know what, go home and enjoy your own company. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. So Monday, the Queen of Cups. Now this came up upside down at first. I didn't know if it was the way that I flipped it or what. So, But with the Queen of Cups energy, the Queen is a mature woman. Cups represents emotions. They also represent water signs. So we have Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio energy, and a mature level of the water sign energy. So the Queen of Cups is very in tune with her emotions, but she doesn't let them overtake her. She also can be quite mystical and understanding of how everything plays out in life. So maybe after whatever the situation was with the Three of Cups in reverse, we will be able to tune in emotionally with some maturity on Monday to come to a mature conclusion about things, whatever those things are and whatever the situation is. And that's important. And this is really good sign. If it was in reverse, then we would be maybe immature about it emotionally. We may be responding in an immature fashion. But the counsel is either way, you need to respond in a mature fashion about whatever it is emotionally you're handling. Just knowing that life has its ups and downs. But at the end of the day, forgive, move forward, and accept your path and accept other people's path and the journey that they're on in life. You know, people are on, not everybody's on the same level. So, yeah, so you want to make sure that you are having a mature mindset about things. Don't just get locked into right now, and try to forgive and try to move forward. Send love and peace to whatever the situation is. If you're in a position to remove yourself, remove yourself. No one is asking anyone to put up with any toxic nonsense. If something is making you feel uncomfortable or not valued, speak up. And if the situation is not going to resolve to where you feel valued, then you need to move along. And the same is true is if someone is telling you that you are not making them feel valued or like they can speak up, then, you know, work on your part to do better. That's all that any of us can do, is to do better. So, all right, so that's the Moonology and the Crow Tarot. I'm going to also come here to the Energy Oracle cards. So the Energy Oracle cards, let's see what advice we have for this upcoming week. Let's knock the deck 7 times. Let's do a shuffle here. So we have, once again, the Energy Oracle card. I've been working with this deck for a while, and I just love the artwork of it. I did just get another new deck that I'm loving so much. I'm going to do a reading for a timeless next 7 days read and a timeless 48 hours read. Pick a card to just kind of like start incorporating some of the cards from the other deck as well, just to kind of keep getting used to the deck. You know, I want to talk a little bit before I get into this deck. So there's been this whole superstitious thing about you cannot buy a deck for yourself. It has to be gifted or stolen or something like that, or it'll be negative. Now, here's the thing. This is my take on it. If you are a negative person, whether somebody gives you the deck, you steal the deck, you find the deck, it doesn't matter, because you will have negativity because it comes from within you. You are always the magic. You are always whatever it is that you face, what you're looking at, the circumstances, the energy, the readings. They're all you. They're coming from you. Even if another person is presenting it or speaking about it to you, at the end of the day, it's coming from you, because you are the magic. If you are a positive person, if you are a spiritual person, you can buy your own deck. You can make your own deck, because the energy that is coming through the deck for the reading is from and for you. The same is true as a reader. If I am reading for someone like this group, whoever is ordained to come across this reading, whoever Spirit would like to use me as a channel for, the cards are only an instrument. Whatever oracle form that you use, whatever it is only an instrument. Just like this drum is an instrument. This sage is an instrument. I am only an instrument. You know within yourself what rings true and what doesn't. This is just an instrument. That's all it is. You are the magic. You are what makes it what it is. What you believe is what gives it power. So if you buy this piece of their paper, their books, it's just paper, just like money's paper. We set the intention for what it is. We decide what it is and what it's going to do. That's where the power comes from. It has nothing to do with that aspect of, you know, of whether if somebody gives it to you. Those things are not relevant. Now, what I will say is what your state of mind is when you purchase it, that does have a bearing on it. And it is important that when you buy anything, whether it's these deck of cards, a book, a clothing, it doesn't matter. It needs to be cleansed because a lot of hands have touched it. A lot of machines have touched it. It's traveled. It's has all kind of energy imprints on it that need to be cleansed and rejected so that only your energy is used for the deck, especially if it's consecrated for you. My decks are consecrated for myself and to be of service to the collective because I have allowed myself to be used as a vessel of wisdom and providing insight to people, to whoever Spirit means to cross my path to do that. So that is the purpose of a reading. I do personal readings only for friends and family. I am earning money in other ways. Okay. So I feel it is my responsibility as a reader to also be a counselor. And like I said, to be a channel for wisdom and for insight. That is the purpose of reading. Okay. That is the purpose of your card decks, for insight and for wisdom. And they should be consecrated as such, and always in the spirit of truth and always in the spirit of light. If that is your energy, if you prefer to work with dark energy, that's between you. That is your path. And you are to deal with the consequences of your actions, as we all are. So that's my big, long statement about purchasing your own cards and what it means for you. Now, the two cards that have popped out for the energy oracle for us to keep in mind is the door to value. And I woke up this morning and that's what my content script was about knowing your value, knowing that you are valuable. Like Maya Angelou has a poem, Still I Rise, and in it she says, I walk like I have oil wells pumping in my living room. That's when you value yourself. People look at you and think, well, she must have money, not understanding that value is not about money. The money comes because you value yourself. You value yourself by how you treat yourself, what you surround yourself with, the information you put into your mind and in your heart, the things you meditate on, the things you feed your body, the way you treat your body. Those things all have to do with value and how you value yourself. The second card is the garden and the gate. So here we have a woman in a beautiful garden, and she is at a gate. She is deciding whether or not she wants to stay in this beautiful garden, or if she's ready to leave the garden and pursue something else. So this has to do with leaving security for the unknown, but also having to know when to be content and when not to, because we have the butterfly there. And sometimes when you've gone through the cocoon phase, you are ready to sprout wings and fly off as this new being who's transformed, because butterflies represent transformation. But it is a choice. It's a choice that we have to make. Now, this card number is 30 and this card number is 31. So we have 4 and 3, which is 7. And 7 is about contemplation and spiritual meditation. So that's something we are counseled to think about, you know, embodying that 7 energy, which, yeah, since we're kind of emotional, we have this, the new moon coming up. We are dealing with emotional energy, things of that nature. Remember that, make the decision that is going to value you the way that you value yourself. If you value yourself, then the door to value will always be open because you value yourself. You know that you're worthy. You know that you are a valuable person just because you exist and because of who you are in the world trying to be a good person. Okay? That's when the door to value is open. So it is open for all of us who are on that path to self-development and to transcendence. And the same is with the garden and the gate. The gate being opened is up to you. You have the power to open that gate, or you can just enjoy the beautiful garden that you have by being content. Either way, it's up to you. And in this case, there is no right or wrong answer. Okay, so that is the counsel for this week for all of us. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, let's look past everything, deeper, and transcend what we see with faith and with love. I am sending everyone lots of love, wishing everyone lots of hope. I am a Reiki healer, and I am available for bookings via Instagram. If you don't have the Instagram app, please download it and hit me up on @Allison'sCookie. I have my cookie business on there. So yes, I do cookies and I'm a Reiki practitioner. So cookies, I love to bake. I have so many different flavors that are pretty delicious. We just had an event on Sunday that went well, and I had a bunch of orders go out on Monday. And I just love to bake, and it's how I create and how I express love and how I express myself. And I'm very thankful for my customers, and I would love it if you would be a customer. So hit me up on @Allison'sCookie on Instagram. You can DM me if you're interested in ordering cookies, and if you were interested in a Reiki session, hit me up as well. I do Reiki sessions. They last between 10 to 15 minutes. Reiki is an amazing form of energy healing. It works, and you will be amazed at the results because it's deeper than just the skin. It's deeper than just your mind. It happens at the soul level in your chakras. So sending everyone lots of love. Until next time, Ashe.